Hello, everyone. Eilers-Heffner, Sapphire Ambassador, Team Impact. Super excited to share some quick tips and hints and ideas, and really just encourage you that there's no one way to work this business, but that you do have to work your business, right? Everyone has different things going on, different styles of getting work done, and that's okay. You get to work when it works for you and how that works for you, as long as you're covering all of the bases. And I think it's kind of cool to follow up with Sue's call on social media, because yes, social media is a part of our business, but it's the conversations that we can have and the follow-ups that we're going to have that's really going to bring people into being long-term customers. So we kind of talk about this all the time. Like, it is great to have a good following. It's great to have an idea of what you're posting about and having that brand, right? That's fine. But while you're working, well, while and even after you've worked and established that, the basics of this business is having conversations with people and being organized at least a little bit. I am not the most organized person, but I am in certain things. And then that serves me okay. That serves me well in this business. So while we're working on having more of a following, while we're working on finalizing our brand, then we're still going to do these key components of our business, and we're still going to do them even when we have 3 million followers. It doesn't matter. These are things that still have to be done. Because even if your following is so huge that you have customers coming to you, you need to know how to follow up with them and continue to help them be successful on the products, right? And that comes into our customer care service or system that we have. And of course, you're going to tweak it to be individualized for people. And of course, you're going to, some people don't want all of the information. They just want to be checked in with or whatever. I mean, you're still going to say, hey, this video is really important. I know videos aren't like, information isn't your thing, but this one's really important. I'd love for you to check it out and give me your takeaways. It's only 10 minutes, that sort of thing. So anyway, the customer care is a whole nother call that we've talked about plenty of times too. So what I think the most important thing you can do is write down your goals. And this is where this is an individual thing for you. So I write, and maybe don't write them down, which when I write them down, then I do better. But I always establish goals in my head. I wake up and I start thinking of the things that I'm thankful for. Because when I wake up after not a lot of sleep, because I have not been home in days and days and days and days. The last thing I really want to do is jump out of the bed and go work out, right? But instead of thinking about how much I don't want to do that, I start thinking of things that I'm grateful for. And I start setting goals for myself for the day. And some days it's like very simple goals, and other days it's bigger goals. That one a couple weekends ago, I listed out to Jackie, like, these are the things that I'm going to focus on, and this is what I'm going to do. And I still didn't get all of those things done, but I tell you what, I got way more done. One, writing it down to her and having the accountability of telling her that's what I was going to do. So write down your daily goals, write down your weekly goals, write down your monthly goals. You don't have to have a fancy planner. Get some paper, get a normal planner, whatever works for you. And I've changed my planners a few times. And I honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not like the planner works my business. I work my business. So, and I think too, being comfortable with failing forward. Okay, this week I did all of my reach outs Monday through Wednesday, and I did follow-ups on Thursday and Friday. I didn't like that. It didn't work for me. I got lost in what I was doing. Okay, it didn't work. So you know that didn't work. You didn't like it. You're not going to do that again. You're going to learn that that wasn't your favorite. Oh, I sent this type of message. I didn't get any responses back. Okay, that didn't work. What can I do to tweak it? Hey, sponsor. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Rochelle. Hey, Jade. Whomever. I sent this message and it didn't get anybody to talk back to me. What can I do differently? You're just learning. That's what we're doing here, is we're just learning. And then the best way to really learn this business is to teach this business. So Eric Worre was talking about that too. So even if you are not a master recruiter, but you say, I'm going to teach my new person how to recruit, then you're going to become a master recruiter. You're going to get better at it just because you're teaching it. When we teach this PT exercises over and over and over again, like we know the ins and outs of that exercise, even if we didn't prior, because we learn it and we're like, okay, I'm teaching this person to do this exercise. Like, why am I teaching them this? What muscle exactly are we using? Let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. What if they ask me why we're doing a hold for 3 seconds versus 10? I better have an answer, right? So I'm like researching this to know that I have an answer for this person. And we do the same thing in this business. So helping people, teaching them, that's going to help you learn. And so I think that's really huge, is just keeping that in mind and knowing that you do know what you're doing. And if you take a step back and don't freak yourself out and get distracted by all of the things like, I have to have a brand and I have to do 12 reels a day. Stop. Can you do those things? If it's not going to eat your time and prevent you from doing IPA, then sure, go ahead. If you're still working on having a system for your IPA, then let that sit on the back burner and do the best that you can and play around with it when you're done with your IPA. Play around with it when the kids are at the park playing. Play around with it on the weekend, whatever that means for you, okay? Like, don't let that be your priority. Okay, so I also liked too that in the Don't Make It Weird book, she had a social media schedule for us. So I am still like needing to implement it, to be honest with you. I need to pull that back up. I need to reread that. I need to like write those things on my planner, and I'll probably put them in my Google Calendar with reminders so that I don't forget to do those things. Okay. But you have a schedule now for social media, and it's just keep repeating that. If you're like, I don't know what else to do, then go back to the beginning of it and repeat it. Do you know that you can post the same post that you've already posted and put a different picture up or a different video, and no one's going to know? No one's going to know. They're not going to know. um, so just remember that we have schedules for our social media now, and we can follow them. And say, so she recommends what, like 3 posts a day? What if you do the 2? What if you do 2 stories a day? Okay, then do 2. Pick 2 of the 3 and do those and do them consistently. So I want you to like also kind of work with how your brain works. I tend to do better when I can sit and like do a bigger chunk at one time than to do little tiny bits and pieces. However, I can do bits and pieces of social media. Boom, 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 done. Easy. As long as I'm not like at work, right? Unless I'm hiding in the bathroom or sitting in my car. I'm not gonna lie. And then 15 minutes of training videos a day. So 15 minutes of social media. You can get up, do your morning routine, maybe set your alarm 15 minutes early, get that morning routine done 15 minutes earlier, and get some social media stuff done for 15 minutes first thing in the morning. And this includes a post. It includes commenting on your friend's stuff. And what I would suggest is taking your list of people. So this is my list of people for the week. And so this is where I want to spend time commenting this week. That's where I want to comment, not just randomly commenting. You're going to put something up in your story. So maybe part of your morning routine is a devotional or a Bible verse, or maybe you're just thinking of things that you're grateful for. So maybe you share those really quick in your stories, or your smoothie of the day, or your protein bowl of the day, right? Like just stick something up there and get your social media active and rolling, and follow the schedule too. And that's where you're commenting. And then 15 minutes of training. So when I first started this business, and still now, most of the time I am listening to training videos and my books for book club and other books that I want to listen to, or read, but listen to at this very busy stage in my life in my car. So I try to listen to like a really good, not plexus training, but more of a spiritual training sermon, or other person that I really like their podcast. So I'll listen to a podcast, or I'll listen to my Bible, like put the verses on the guy talking. or something along those lines in the morning. So first thing in the morning when I'm going to the gym, when I'm coming home from the gym, it's all focusing my day towards the Lord. And then when I drive to work or drive to go get kids or something like that, then I'm putting on a book or a training for plexus. Okay. And when I started my business, I would listen to trainings. It was actually very similar. Like I prayed and did my spiritual journey stuff first. And then the other times I was in the car, it was training. So just save them however makes sense to you. Maybe in the notes app of your phone, maybe in a Word doc in your phone so you can just pull that up. Maybe you do save in your Facebook, like save to Facebook, and that's fine. Just make sure that you are not on your phone when you're driving, because we learned from Elizabeth's mistake. So having those ready to roll. And I would say too that you really don't need to listen to hour-long trainings every day. If you have the time and you're into something, then do that. But if there's an hour-long training and it takes you 4 days to listen to, that's still moving you ahead versus I'm not going to listen to this because I don't have a full hour right now, right? And then also make sure you're listening and go into Team Impact, go into Pink Power. If we don't have it in Team Impact yet, like, okay, I really want to work on recruiting. So you search recruiting or you ask us, hey, I need to work on recruiting. What can I watch? What can I listen to? If you're not finding something in Impact that you know that we've watched or referred to before, pull it over, copy it, maybe change the graphic and make it more updated and bring it over to Team Impact, please. You have that permission, okay, to make sure we have the resource in Team Impact. But yeah, you can, I watched videos or listened when I folded laundry, when I was cleaning, washing the dishes, pretty much anything, showering, putting makeup on, whatever. And I still tend to do that too. So whatever works out. Then I want you to get into that reaching out and following up. So this is where, honestly, I think sometimes it's hard to like jump into a mode and then jump back out for some people. So I am one of those people that would rather be able to like spend a solid like 30 minutes on reaching out and a 30 minutes following up to really dig deep into that. So I know that what I'm doing is whatever, more impactful, right? But if there's days that just isn't going to happen, then it's okay. I have my list. So I, like I said, I wrote my list. So now I have my list. And if I have 10 minutes or I have 30 minutes or whatever at lunch, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go through. And so my planner is kind of weird. So now I have new here. And then what I'm going to do is start writing the follow-ups over here too. Okay. And I can go back. I just didn't get that list completed yet. So I can go back to previous weeks and then pull those over to that new column for following up as well. Okay. So however that works for you. I mean, I'm not going to not do it just because I feel like, oh, I need 30 minutes of uninterrupted time. Well, not a lot of us probably have exactly 30 minutes of uninterrupted time. You kind of have to just power through interruptions and power through knowing you don't have as much time as maybe you want some days, something like that. And then getting the follow-ups done. So the other thing that I want you to make sure you're making time for, so this would be kind of an additional 15 minutes, is making sure you're doing your onboarding. So when you have those new people that have joined you in the last 90 to 120 days, making sure you're following up with them. And then also following up with your team. Hey, are you coming to convention? The 15th is the last day to buy your ticket. We have a space for you in a hotel room. Are you coming? Hey, how's it going with the X, Y, and Z? Hey, how's it going with this? So checking in with people and talking to them. And I think too that when you step back and you say, okay, I'm going to make my list. And that's all I'm doing right now. I'm just making my list. Okay. And maybe you set a timer to challenge yourself to get it done. And then you say, okay, these are, this is my follow-up list. This is my new contact list. This is my people I really want to talk to about the business, because that's what my list is. My list that I make of new people to talk to, it's about the business. But if I get into like following up on their walls and looking a little more closely, I may introduce the products first, but really I'm really wanting to introduce the business first and then defaulting to the products. Okay. But that's not scary. It's not scary to write a list. It's not difficult. If you don't know who to put on your list, then there's tons of resource on how to make a list, your Frank's list, and just type list and team impact, and it will give you tons of ideas. Leads you didn't know you had, all kinds of ideas. But if you're like, I don't want to search anything, like whatever, you're just in that, having a minute. It's okay to have a minute. Just don't stay in the minute. Just go to your friends list and put like an S and type, then look for your friends that start with S. Facebook will populate your whatever. You can start with A and then go through A, B, C, D, E. You can start at Z. You can work backwards. You can just pick a random letter. Just make a list. It doesn't matter. Okay. And then I do, though, want you to keep in mind to make sure that your content, like, okay, I work out with these people every day, right? So those are people that I do want to have relationships with. And so I am gonna, hey, that was a killer workout today. How did you do? Are you sore? I'm so sore, whatever. Like they're kind of like this other list that I have ongoingly, right? Because I want to keep trying to have a good relationship. And then when the opportunity comes up, then I can bring up Plexus, and that's what I do. So not scary. And then you think, okay, I can put a post up, I can put something in my stories, and I can talk to these people that are on my list. I can comment on their stuff. That's not scary. That's easy. Not scary. Okay. And then you go to your next thing. Okay, I want to do some reaching out. Okay, I'm going to do some reaching out. Here's my list. And reach out to 3, reach out to 5, reach out to 10. Do what you can and challenge yourself to do more. So when you break apart these different things, it's all very doable. And I think sometimes we think, I don't know what to do, or this isn't laid out to me. Like when I go to my job and they say, okay, here's your list of patients to see for the day, or here's this or that. It's very like, you have so much freedom that sometimes I think we struggle with having that much freedom, that we kind of get lost in the weeds. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to think about things in incremental things like we just went over. Oh, and the other list that I have that's ongoing is who I want to help go silver. And I just keep adding to it. And then I keep, like Leah said on that one call, like you boil the frog, you're putting the feelers out. Hey, have you ever thought of getting your products paid? Hey, have you ever thought of an additional stream of income? And that's happening too when you're recruiting them. So it's just those follow-ups with that. And it's that ebb and flow. Like you kind of push them a little, and if they push back, then you back off. Hey, tell me how much water you're drinking. It looks like your Mother's Day was lovely. What did you love? Where did you eat? It looked really good. Go back to the relationship, go back to the product follow-up, and then you're going to come back. So those are kind of my list that I have going on. I have my new people, making sure they're getting onboarded properly, talking to them about the business, my list of people that I want to help go silver, right? There's another list of people I want to talk to about the business, my list of follow-ups. And then, if you have specific people you want to talk to about the products, have that list going on too. And then your ongoing and growing list of your current team. So even if they've been on the products for a year, you're still talking to them every month. How's it going? And you also are talking to them personally too. So those are kind of your list broken down. Hopefully you guys jotted some of this down so you don't get lost in something. And I think too, like Plexus is more like cleaning your house when you have 5 little kids running around. I mean, I know I didn't have 5 all the time. I had kids over, but when you have kids and you start cleaning, we were talking about this at work the other day. It's like I'm in the kitchen cleaning, but then the kid falls and bumps their head. And so then you go over, are you okay? And you're consoling and you're like, let's get an ice pack. And then you get the ice pack and then you notice that something spilled in the freezer and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to clean that up. So you do that. And then that leads you to like, I ran out of paper towel, and you like literally give your mom a muffin, right? You go and get the paper towel. And like, I think sometimes we do that with Plexus, is that we just hop from thing to thing to thing. And then we also think, well, I did so much commenting and I did so much scrolling, so I did a lot of work. And that's not the case. So really kind of forcing ourselves to get in that box of reaching out, the box of following up, the box of talking to our team, the box of helping, talking to people about going silver and just scheduling incremental time for that if you don't have the 2 hours to sit and do it all at once, right? And I will say, this is the thing, you can be successful doing 2 hours a day, or you can be successful doing 2 hours, 2 or 3 or 4 days a week and less other days. I definitely don't want someone to say, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't have 2 consistent hours every single day. That's not a reason not to go through this. It just means you're breaking it up differently. Um, you can print the winning day sheets or the other IPA sheets that we have and pre-fill them out on the weekend or whatever day. Like, I function better on Mondays usually right now with the crazy season that we're in. So Monday's my day to get everything set for the week. Um, do what you need to do. So those are just some ideas. I hope that's really helpful. And I just want you to feel empowered that you don't have to be a social media whiz and have the perfect reels, but you can still be extremely successful breaking apart your time and just doing the conversations. So, all right. Thanks for getting on.